Good morning, LBC Radio. My name is Corey Rosen, and you're listening to the Story Podcast. Today, I have on a super awesome guest, Alexia Christian. Listen, imagine, and melt into Alexia's rock messages of single life, reality, love, loss, and dreams. A rising DC Metro vocalist, she is proud to release her third album for singles only. Alexia embraced a captivating love for music, singing in numerous youth choirs, then quickly ascended to private voice instruction. She launched her rock debut as a singer in Sherwood High School's Rock and Roll Revival, the longest running show in MOCO. There, her passion for classic rock ignited. Simultaneously, as a soprano in Sherwood's chamber choir, Alexia journeyed through England and Ireland performing in cathedrals and venues. A graduate of Shippensburg University and sustaining member of Madrigal Singers, Alexia gained momentum and versatility performing in statewide venues. All the while, she arduously trained and performed as a rock singer. What sets Alexia apart is her strong, versatile voice, work ethic, and nothing to lose attitude. Whether you're single or not, these songs have a compelling message for you. Alexia, how are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you, Corey?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm excited. So, what was it did you get started in music as a child? What really started it for you?
Well, my parents put me in private vocal lessons as a child, and I just really took off with that. I loved it so much, and that was really a pivotal point for me that I wanted to become a singer and a songwriter.
So, at what point did you start making your own songs, or you pick up a guitar, or?
Yeah, so I started singing at a very young age of 8 years old. And then when I turned 10, I started writing my first songs in 2004. And I just loved it and grew and evolved through then. I started as a rock singer and then I integrated into pop in my later 20s. And I really like both the genres a lot.
How have you seen your music writing skills grow? Because writing as an 8 or a 10-year-old and then now as an older adult, surely must be different.
Yeah, it evolves quite greatly throughout the time period. It's just cool I write through personal experiences. So, and those experiences change and evolve throughout your life, whether it's relationships, friendships, travel is very inspiring. I love writing about travel and being in new places. I write through my imagination a lot of times too, where I make stuff up. And I just try to keep a very open and clear mind to writing.
So when was the first time you actually performed a song for other people?
That was probably when I was 18 years old. I began performing as a solo artist. So I've been performing solo for about 10 years.
Did you ever feel nervous or?
Oh, yeah, I totally did. Yeah. I had to completely get over the nerves for sure. But, I really wanted to be a performer. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to just fight through it and just keep rocking with it.
So at what point did you think that, oh, this is something I wouldn't want to do forever or I can do forever? Did you go to school for music or?
I studied vocal performance in college with I was in Madrigals and concert choir at Shippensburg University, but I was an art major as well. So I studied photography, digital art, and Photoshop. So that was my major that I really liked. And it was such a great experience because you can be able to design cover art with those skills. So it's really important to have those graphic skills as a musician.
Absolutely. That's half the battle, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's challenging for sure.
So you go to college, you graduate, you decide this maybe is a full-time thing. You also teach.
Yep, I'm a music teacher. Yep, I've been teaching music for about 4 years. This is my fourth year teaching. I'm in private schools and I teach private vocal, guitar, vocal, ukulele lessons. And it's really fun.
What do you think is one of the most challenging aspects of teaching?
That's a great question. Definitely learning a bunch of different songs. For sure. It develops your repertoire a lot and just kind of getting to know the students and working with all different kinds of ages and being very adaptable.
Do you think it was hard for you to step into the teaching role, or did that come naturally to you?
It was pretty natural for me. I just kind of fell into it right out of college, which was kind of interesting.
That's good. Who do you think is your favorite group to teach?
Great question. I like working with everybody, but I like ages 9 and up, and I like working with the high school kids because then you can be like a mentor to them, and I like teaching adults too because then you develop that adult rapport, and you can kind of delve into more of the intricate parts of the music.
I must say, having teaching adults is something more because you can actually kind of hold a conversation a little bit.
Yeah, you can definitely on a collegiate level. Or past that point too. Yeah. And you can kind of joke around and it's
Right.
fun, you just have fun with them and do it for the love.
You've also, so you're speaking about traveling around the world or getting inspiration by traveling. You've also traveled to Ireland and England. What for?
Yeah, so in high school, our chambers choir got to tour in England and Ireland, and we sang in a lot of churches. So that was a cool traveling, touring experience.
What was the most memorable thing from your travels, do you think?
Great question. When I went to London with the choir in 2013, I went to Camden Town in London, and it's this super artsy town, and it's just like got rock clubs all down the strip of that town and a bunch of cool punk shops. So I got these like really cool punk rock pants that look like Avril Lavigne style, and then like a black tote bag with a bunch of chains on it. It's just super rock and roll. And to this day, I still wear the screw earring that I got from England, and it's right here. So it's kind of fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you like Ireland better or England, do you think?
I like them both, but I would have to say London because it's really rock
Really?
and roll. Yeah.
I've always wanted to go to London. I'll get there eventually. What songs do you think have come out of that, if any?
I wrote one song called London Time. I didn't release it, but it's kind of fun. Like you're on a different European time length.
Yeah, it's pretty a different language almost, even though it's still English.
Yeah.
Right? It's still,
It's
but
different.
it's different. There's a few English and Irish people over here that I get to hang out with, and it's like, sorry, what? What are you saying to me?
Yeah, the accent's a little bit different. It's unique.
Yeah. What do you think was the best advice you were given during your college career?
That's a great question. I don't know. In college, I got slammed a lot in the art program. It was really hardcore, so it was a pretty big fight that I had to get through. But
Tell me about slammed in what ways?
yeah, just like professors being super hard on all the students, and just being very critical.
Mm.
So I guess getting past the criticism is really important. Like, it's so hard not to take it seriously, but you kind of just have to think about it in a way that, okay, the professor is telling me, what I need to do to improve so that I can get through it, not to hurt my feelings, in that part. But, in my case, they were trying to hurt us, for sure. So
Wow.
it was rough, but
That doesn't sound like fun at all.
yeah, it was really a big challenge.
Did you ever have a problem taking criticism or
It depends. Not entirely, but I would say if you're saying it in an unkind way, then yeah, I'll have a problem for sure. But if you're
Right.
just telling me, hey, you could do this and this better, then in a light, polite way, then I'll be like, okay, yeah, that's cool. I'll consider it.
Yeah, whenever I have a criticism, it's always like the sandwich. You compliment them first. However, this could be fixed as well.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
It's like the constructive criticism. Nice thing, bad thing, or improved thing, whatever.
Right.
So, because you clearly have a versatile voice and a strong work ethic, you've been powering through for a long time. What was, do you think, your most significant accomplishment as a vocalist so far? Do you think?
That's a great question. I think developing my range has been a great thing for me to evolve with, just by working with different notes and expanding your range. Like now I can hit a lot of really high rock notes, and it's just really awesome to see the growth and the evolution of the voice. And if you're willing to work hard, then you can hit those really extractive notes.
How did you work your way up there? Was there a way you did that? I assume so.
Yeah, well, I've had a lot of vocal training, which has been very beneficial. But if you work at vocal warm-ups every day and just pushing yourself by practicing more challenging songs, then that can help too. And a lot of it is writing challenging notes to hit, because I often do that. I'm like, I really want to, expand my range by giving myself a challenge. And I think I really did that with this album of For Singles Only. I really expanded those notes and stuff like that.
Let's talk about that album.
Yeah.
So it's For Singles Only. Why?
Why? Well, it's all about being single. So, I've had a lot of those moments where I've been single a lot, and I write about those experiences, and I think a lot of people can connect with those. Like the first song off of the album is called Second Thoughts, and I think everybody has had second thoughts about somebody before.
Right.
Yeah. So when I play that one live, a lot of people like it. 100 is really cool. It's the second song. It's very rock. It's like a power rock anthem where it's like you're not taking any crap from people, and you're telling the guy off. And I say, and show me some chivalry, because that's an important thing for people to have.
So you've been, how many songs are on the album?
That's an EP, so it's a 6-track.
How long did it take you, do you think?
I would say like a year. I recorded that album during COVID, so it was great to have that extra time that I really liked, so I could really just like bang it out.
So these are all written around the same time. They're not just pick and chosen from your, I don't know if you have a book of songs, but.
Yeah, I have a couple books of songs. So these were all written, I think, between 2019 to 2020. So they were all written like within that. Yeah, around the same time.
Is this your first album or is this
third
album?
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of your first albums.
Yeah, the first album is totally sold out. It's called Shadows Turn to Reality, and that was a 4-track EP. So that was a very fun concept that came out in 2014. And I had my cousins from Greece record on that album. They recorded drums, which was really cool. And I recorded that when I was 18, so I was really young at the time. And then my second album was called Nothing to Lose, and I recorded that.
Hence the Nothing to Lose attitude.
Yeah, Nothing to Lose attitude. That's right. Yeah, and that was recorded when I was at Shippensburg University in college.
Do you ever look back at your songs and you're like, oh my gosh?
Not really. I think every album has a cool stage to it and a growth process, and I think it's just great to see that growth.
It's good. Do you have another album planning, or you started writing another album, or?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, all of my singles are going to be on the next album coming up.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So we actually have one of your songs from For Singles Only called Single Life. Talk about it.
Sure. It's all about the single life. So it starts off with, I just want to see what's up tonight. And that's kind of a popular millennial phrase that a lot of people use. I wrote the song during COVID, and
really, what is going on tonight, if anything?
Yeah, what is going on tonight? It's just about, like being single, and there's always like a guy in your life that's just, it's not really working. So you're just trying to kind of get out of that situation, and it's just kind of like, I want to be single and be free. And I think a lot of people kind of downplay the single life. Like, I think it should be fun and happy and a great time in your life because you're not stuck. with the wrong person. I mean, if you are with the right person, that's great.
Right.
But if you're not, then
Not so great.
it's just better to be single and just get into your own zone with your career, your passions, do what you want, work on yourself. And that's what that song is all about, just working on yourself.
So this is Single Life by Alexia Christian.
I just wanna see what's up tonight. Yeah, I just wanna see what's up tonight. I miss my old life, the young times, the way I used to be. We're staring down at our devices, can't get away from your frequency. You're texting and calling, saying you want me. I just wanna see what's up tonight. Yeah, I just wanna see what's up tonight. Haven't seen you in a while, you've been around. I'm trying to see what's going down. Let's keep it real, I want you now. Thinking about my life, don't wanna give it up tonight. I just wanna see what's good tonight. Yeah, I just wanna see what's good tonight. I've been thinking about you, vibing with your women. I don't give a damn where you've been with them. You just wanna hit it for the hell of it. Wait a minute, I'm not down with it. Messing with my mind. Why don't you get out of my life? I just wanna see what's up tonight. Yeah, I just wanna see what's up tonight. You're playing with my vibes, thinking about my time. Let me get on with my life. You wanna be free, I understand that. Wanna show you how I feel, then again, I'm trying to keep it real. Yeah, I just wanna see what's up tonight. Yeah, I just wanna see what's up tonight. Haven't seen in a while, you've been around. I'm trying to see what's going down. Let's keep it real, I want you now. Thinking about my life, don't wanna give it up tonight. I just wanna see what's up tonight. Yeah, I just wanna see what's up tonight.
That was Single Life by Alexia Christian. So did you write the music to that yourself, or did you have somebody help you?
I did. I
Okay.
wrote all of the music. It's really fun for me.
What is some of the... So do you ever find yourself limited by your own talent or your own... or the... So, for example, there are people talented, way more talented than I could, but I want to write music like that. Do you ever had that
Mhm.
problem?
Not really.
No? Oh, good. That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
I mean, well, so since this is a pop song,
Right. It's
it-
very...
it's a little bit different from what I have written, but I've written all the pop songs on guitar starting off. So it always starts with an organic process. So it's just vocals, just guitar. And then I brought it to my producer and I was like, I want you to infiltrate some pop techniques and add those in. So that part, I don't do that. I think that's something that, doesn't really
Pop in
happen
your
for
head.
me.
Yeah.
No, not really. But I composed the lead guitar for that song, and that's really fun for me to kind of compose leads and riffs and infiltrate that into the song and make it like all these ambient tones.
What were the pop techniques that your producer was talking about?
So he added a lot of layers of harmonies, like kind of different like radio techniques of the harmonies, and he added some kind of
EQing and-
synthetic, those synth piano tones to it, and then the drums as well. And there's like always a beat in the back of it too. So he kind of does like the beat work.
So you have based off of this single, or is it based off this EP? You have another single coming out, "Man in My Mind."
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. Is that because that's an old one of your older songs that you're bringing to light?
Yeah. So I wrote that song in 2017 when I went to Shippensburg University, and I've been performing it live for years, and a lot of people asked about it. I got great responses from it because they could really connect with it. And the tagline of the song is, "I guess I'll be buying my own drinks at the bar tonight." And then I say, "I guess I'll be buying my own drinks at the bar tonight." Like, yeah. Oh yeah, I am. Like I'm strong and I don't need anybody else to back me up. That type of thing.
So there is no man in your mind, or is it? Which way does it go? Is it you're thinking of a guy, or is you're imagining a guy, or is there an actual physical guy that's like, I wish I was with him, or?
Well, I was in a relationship when I wrote the song, and in the chorus I say, "Why can't you be the man in my mind? Why can't you be the man inside?" So it's like, there's not really a whole lot there. It's just I'm searching and searching, but there's nothing
not.
like underneath the surface.
Right.
So it's like, they weren't really the man in my mind. And it's
Gotcha.
just interesting how history repeats itself multiple times.
So this isn't a chosen path for you. This is just how it is.
Yeah, this is literally how it is. So, it depends on the person, So that's why I've chosen this theme of single life. So if you're single, then you should enjoy it, embrace it. Do what you love.
And if anything, it's going to be temporary. The best way to get into a good relationship is to work on yourself, because that's going to attract other people.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And attract like-minded people too, not just whoever, oh, that guy's pretty, I want him.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah, there's got to be a lot more than that.
A lot more than that.
Yeah, that's not going to cut it.
You talk about performing. What goes for you into a performance?
A lot. There's a lot of preparation behind it. You have to get 36 songs under your belt, which is a lot, but I've been doing that for a long time. So it's really fun for me to incorporate a lot of new pop songs, classic rock, and originals.
And you're usually a solo act, right?
Yeah, I'm totally solo. I was in a band from 2019 to 2020-ish. 2 different bands, but that were in Maryland, and then I moved to PA and became solo again.
Single life in many ways.
Exactly.
Would you ever want to do a band, or was that too much, do you think?
I think it's challenging to find the time, but never say never. I love collaborating with other musicians and working on different projects. I recorded some harmony vocals for Tommy B, and he's a solo musician in the Carlisle area. I recorded harmonies for his album about a month ago, and that was really fun. So collaborating is always a must.
Honestly, truly. Who do you think is one of the most fun musicians or interesting musicians that you've been able to meet or play with so far?
Oh, that's a great question. Oh, I've met a lot of cool people in PA. I love the music scene. I think Brett G. Rudder, he's really cool. I met him at the Bird's Nest open mic in Carlisle. He's great. Brandon Valentine, he's really cool. I met him at the HMAC open mic. Yeah, and I love that organization that he runs, Central PA Music Hall of Fame. That's awesome.
And the whole thing about his last name. And do you know that?
He was born on Valentine's Day.
Yep.
Yeah, that's super cool. Very unique.
He'll be on this Tuesday or Wednesday on this podcast.
That's
so
awesome.
Stay tuned for that. But yeah, it's incredible the amount of musicians and the amount of cool musicians around here. Did the scene change at all for you from being in Maryland? You say Montgomery County, right? That's where in Maryland is that?
That's in Rockville.
Rockville?
Yeah, it's like an hour outside of DC, which is cool. Like before COVID, it was great, but once COVID hit, a lot of places that I played at closed, and it just changed a lot. But I think the PA music scene is honestly better here. Sorry, Maryland people, but PA is a lot better.
I would have to agree.
Yeah.
Unless you're like in the DC area, then because there's 1,000,005 musicians in the DC area. But
Yeah.
Lancaster, you could go 50 miles, and there's a complete like you can go from there's Lancaster, there's a Lancaster music scene, there's the Reading music scene, there's the York music scene, there's like the Harrisburg music scene, and it's all interconnected and interwoven, and it's all accessible.
Exactly.
So, what is, if you could encourage anybody or give advice to anybody who wants to go out and perform, what would it be?
Great question. I think that if you want to become a solo artist, a great way to improve your voice is to do a lot of vocal warm-ups every day. Like, do that before you start prepping for your songs, because then it gets your voice ready and stronger and ready to hit those songs and go head on with it.
What do you think is your favorite vocal warm-up?
What do you want me to demo?
Do it.
Probably Mamma Mia. That's a good one.
That's we had a similar one as a kid. It was Mama made me mash my M&Ms.
Oh my,
Yeah. It's always been a favorite one of mine. Yeah, but you're right. Like even just like humming or doing whatever, just make sure your voice is warm before you go into something. Like people, I even do it for the podcast too. Because you kind of have to. If you're going to any speaking arrangement, you should prepare your voice, get it used to speaking, because it's something that needs to be warmed up. People don't think about that. But if you've tried to talk to anybody in the morning, you know.
Absolutely.
You're not talking, right?
Yeah.
You just have to, even if it's been a long day, case in point, if it's been a long day, you use the voice too much. Maybe you need to warm it up to stress release, right? It's super important as a performer to keep your voice in check and in control.
Absolutely. Yeah, and especially if you're doing a show, then you want to do those warm-ups prior and not just go in cold, because it could just be a disaster.
And it can really ruin your voice.
Yeah, it can.
It's just like a workout. You gotta stretch your muscles before you work, or else you're gonna break them. Also, water's important.
Absolutely. Have plenty of water.
What do you think is the funniest thing or worst thing that ever happened to you while performing?
Oh, I've had people ask me this question before. That's a good one. There's always something unexpected that happens at a show, whether you're inside or outside. But in my case, during COVID of 2020, I was inside a tent performing at a brewery, and it was raining outside, so the rain was seeping into the tent. Luckily, my equipment didn't get ruined, but then there was a spider that was just streaking down, and he just plopped on my mic, and I was like, all right, I'm just going to keep singing. All right, keep going. The show must go on.
Did you panic at all, or did you just...
No, not at all, and I'm deathly afraid of spiders.
Yeah, no, spiders are not fun at all. But you've never had a string break, or your...
It's not wood.
Guitar strap fall off?
I'll just say yes.
I'll just say
yes so it doesn't happen. No, I have had the strap come off right after a song, luckily.
But you catch it, right?
Yeah, I caught it. Good. Yeah. I have quick reflexes. You got to be real on it, man.
Honestly, even for sometimes or one time I'm in a bar and people are walking around, sometimes they nudge my piano and whoop, there it goes. Gotta catch it and keep playing, just like nothing happened. And you gotta have these reflexes that most people probably wouldn't have.
Exactly.
So, what do you think has been your favorite venue to play at?
Ooh. I would probably say the Dive Bar in DC was really fun because they had a lot of famous people performed there prior, like Emmylou Harris and Bob Dylan, Van Morrison. It was just a real iconic joint, and that was fun. But let me see if I can remember a PA venue, because there's so many great places in PA. I really liked playing at Molly Pitcher Brewery in Carlisle. They have a lot of great places in Carlisle to perform at. It's very artsy.
It is very artsy.
Yeah. Oh, and Recordsmith is really cool in Mechanicsburg. That's a great place for artists, especially original artists, to perform at, because the guy Paul Smith, he really likes original singers. For any of you guys listening out there, if you want to play there.
As I say, it's better for bars for you to play original music anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because it's just the same thing, different day.
Same thing, different day, and then all the ASCAP stuff that they have to deal with and everything else.
Yeah.
So, what's one venue that you've always wanted to perform at?
So many. Jam and Java in Virginia. They have original singers perform there. It's just kind of a hike, but cool place.
Yeah, the Grand Ole Opry is a hike, but I'd like to perform there too, you know?
There you go. Yeah, gotta play there for sure in Madison Square Garden.
Right, of course. All the famous spots.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn it. That's interesting. I've always wanted to perform at a beach, I think.
At a beach.
At a beach.
Nice.
At a beach venue.
Yeah, that would be fun for sure.
It'd be so much fun. Because everyone's there to party anyway. What do you do for audiences? Have you ever had to perform for a lackluster audience or a non-existent audience? And what do you do? How do you treat that?
I think you just treat it like a regular show. No matter who's in the crowd, you just gotta try to rock it. You know, if you need to make an adjustment to the set list, like play something a little more upbeat that people might like a more radio airplay song, then I would say just switch it up with that. I try to play a lot of really upbeat stuff that the crowd's gonna like X's and O's by Ellie King. People have a great response to that. Radioactive, people really like that one. Titanium by David Guetta and Sia.
You have the range for that.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's got
That's
that
incredible.
like high voice. Yeah, well, I sing it in head voice, so.
Right, of course. I think anybody would have to.
Yeah, Sia
It's a hard
does
belt.
too. Yeah, it's not that challenging though if you just
okay. Fair enough.
if you practice it.
Of
a little
course,
bit.
it all comes down to practice, doesn't it?
Yeah, just training that voice for sure.
Do you think you want to get more into pop or more into rock?
Great question. I think for now I'm kind of in between. And just, I don't know, I'm writing in a lot of different genres right now, which I think is interesting. Like, it's just very different on the scope. Like, one month I'm writing a rock song, another month it's pop, another month it's like a Christian song, you know. I think the next song I'm going to record is going to be kind of like a Christian song.
So speaking about Christian, how do you think your faith impacts the work you do or the people you surround yourself with? Because in the music industry, as people can know, it can be a very unchristlike place.
Yeah, it really can be. Yeah. That's a cool question. I think that my faith is totally impactful on what I'm doing because that's really where it all came from. It totally came from God. It wasn't me as a person. It was all through him. Like, God gave me that gift to write songs and to sing, and yeah, it's been a really beautiful process.
Have you ever had to say no because, or does your faith impact the places? Sorry, does your faith impact the places you play because of, oh, they're that kind of place, or oh, they're this kind of person that runs it, or?
Not really, honestly. I haven't been in any of those situations. I mean, I'm not technically a Christian singer, so
Right.
You know, I mean, I do play like One of Us by Joan Osborne, you know. What if God was one of us? I really like that song a lot. That's a super fun song. And then I play another song by Francesca Battistelli, He Knows My Name. I like that one a lot. So, I mean, I think it's cool if you can kind of integrate all that. If it's something that you like, you know.
Do you have to choose different songs based off your faith as well? Or do you like, oh, this song says this bad word, or this song talks about this bad thing, or highlights this bad thing?
Yeah, totally, for sure. Yeah, if there are songs that say like the Lord's name in vain, it's just like, hell no. I just, I don't like any of that stuff. I just think it's really disrespectful. So, I'm not willing to like disrespect God with that and stuff. I don't want to sing it.
No, it's a good thing. It's a thing people
Yeah.
don't think about. It's like, because
Yeah.
I know so many Christian artists that will do whatever because it's whatever.
Right.
But people don't think, oh, wait, I probably shouldn't do that. It's probably not the best thing for me to do as a Christian. Especially as we're in a place where unchristlike things happen. You're in a bar. You are, singing
Yeah.
to a bunch of people who are getting drunk. There's a funny story of, well, yeah, that's the case, right?
Right.
There's a funny story of the people who I've had on the past. Shout out to Matt and Carol Friggum from Sweet Life Music. The bars didn't like them because they got people to stop drinking.
Oh God.
Not
That's
not
funny.
yeah. Well, they didn't go up to them and like stop drinking. They just
Right.
the songs they played
The
just
songs they play.
they just the people automatically just didn't just stop trying to drink. So they just didn't like the group, which I thought was hilarious and kind of it's great in one way. Kind of sad that the bars no. Leave.
Yeah, that's so funny.
So where do you see yourself going? Like 5 years, where do you see yourself?
Hmm. Right now I'm just kind of living for today,
Mm.
but I see myself growing and evolving as a musician in a lot of different ways. I'd like to see myself maybe get into Christian rock, evolve as a music teacher, have another album or two out, travel the world and perform. I have a lot of goals for sure.
That's a good thing to have goals,
Yeah,
especially as a musician, because
it
the
is.
industry is so unpredictable,
Yeah,
right? You have to have
it is.
some, like for example, COVID. Who thought that was ever going to happen, right? Where the whole entire music industry shuts down for one and a half years or so.
Yeah.
How'd you deal with that?
It was tough. Oh my gosh. Like we had to teach kids online and I would be teaching 5-year-olds online. It's just like, how do you transfer this information properly to these kids?
How do you hold their attention nonetheless?
Exactly. So, some days it was more of like a music therapy lesson. And hey,
Mm.
that's cool, but yeah, it was very isolating. I think most of us don't really like that isolation because I'm a very people person. I like, communicating and having a positive impact on people and healing through music and that type of thing and meeting different people all the time. So I'm so glad that we're finally in more of a normal state.
What do you think is the most memorable lesson you've ever learned in regards to music, in regards to teaching?
Memorable lesson. I would say that you kind of have to work with people who, are positive. And if it's kind of hard to break through to them, then you still have to keep trying because they're a student. They came to you for a special reason. And, even if they semi can't do something, you still have to work with them. And it's a great teach tool for teachers to try to become a better teacher because you never give up on your kids. Never. Whether it's your own kids or you're teaching to them.
Yeah, no, you're right. View it as more of a challenge, not as a chore,
Yeah,
right? Because
exactly.
once you start treating it as a chore, then the kid isn't gonna like you, isn't gonna like being taught, isn't gonna like blah blah blah, and they're gonna get left out.
Right, exactly. And even if you just kind of compliment them a little bit and just, even if they don't do it totally the way it's supposed to be, it's like that's okay. It's part of
The learning
music
process.
music therapy, the love for it, the developmental skills.
Yeah, every time, I hate doing the trash. I hate it. But every single time I would do it, even if I did it out of pettiness, it would be
Yeah,
like, "Good job, man," and it encouraged me to do better next time for sure.
right.
And that's sometimes what you have to do with kids is I teach children how to swim. And sometimes people hate water for whatever reason. But even if they do it half right, I'll give it to them, or they do something that's good. I'll find the nugget of the good thing and say, "Good job!" Blah, blah, blah. Go ahead and climb it out, whatever. And you can see it on their faces. They're they're confused, but they're also happy. Like, oh, I can do something, or I did something. Yay! What do you think is the most challenging part of being a teacher, besides what you just mentioned, trying to find the different challenges and move around that?
Mm-hmm. One challenge is learning how to read music, honestly. I've been doing a lot of research with famous artists who do not read music. Like, for instance, the Beatles did not read music. They went all based off of feel.
Wow.
And I think that's really interesting because they are like my favorite band.
This is
Like,
some of the most-
I love the Beatles. And Prince, he didn't read music either.
Really?
He did not read music.
Wow.
I looked it up yesterday. Carrie Underwood doesn't read music. Taylor Swift doesn't.
Really?
Like most people, they just go like chord based. You know,
Right, of
they
course.
learn the chords, or if you're like a solo or like a guitar soloist, like Eddie Van Halen, he didn't read. Jimi Hendrix didn't read. They just figured it out, but they had that like within them,
Right.
so they could really just let it out for sure. But, for me, for instance, I don't really read music per se. Like, I know how to read it, but it's not on like a college level,
Of course.
but, I teach it to a certain degree, like from a basic level, like a beginner level. So that's kind of a challenge, I would say. And I'll bet a lot of other musicians feel that way too. But it's kind of interesting to see both sides of it. Whether you read or not, it really doesn't matter because you can be totally intelligent and compose all these really beautiful and intricate songs and not read music. And if you have that skill, same rule applies for sure.
And there's benefits to both. For example,
Yeah.
people who I know who don't know how to write music or just go off feeling, to somebody who's been, I went to college for music composition. I see some of the songs like that doesn't make sense, but it works, and I hate that.
Yeah, exactly.
But it works, and it's great. And I say I hate it because it's like it's not Sherwood. It's not how it's supposed to go. But it's great. And honestly, I think sometimes if you are at a collegiate level of learning, sometimes it's a limit because you only think in these certain ways. 4 only goes to 5. 2, 5 only goes to 1. Right?
Right.
Like those kind of things. This is only the chord progression that you can do. You can't have a single song that goes, 1, 2, 1, 2 over and over again. But
Yeah.
there are great songs that do that.
Mm-hmm.
There are songs that make no sense, or little sense in their chord progressions that are amazing because it just felt right to them.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's 2 arguments to that, right? Either do it based off feeling or learn, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I would agree with you. If you're gonna teach, you kind of have to learn how to read music.
Yeah, you do.
That's part of it.
You do, for sure.
Did you ever grow up learning music, or did you just do it based off feeling as well?
Kind of both. Like, I learned how to read music in my private vocal lessons and when I was in choirs throughout my whole life. But, I would just pick up melodies automatically. So that was really easy for me, honestly. So I didn't have to work hard to try to read the music. I didn't really learn how to read it. I would just go based off of feeling, because finding the vocal notes for me is really intuitive.
Gotcha. That was something I always did. Did you ever have this phenomenon whenever you listen to a song and you didn't know the song, but you could just follow the melody and sing along anyway?
Yeah, exactly.
That was a superpower of mine that I could do as a
Mhm.
kid.
Yeah.
So we have another one of your singles from your what's it called? Sing it.
Oh, for singles only.
For singles only, yeah, okay.
Yeah, this is the 100 song.
Tell me about that one.
It's a rocker. This song is all about being strong and moving on from the wrong relationship.
Is this from an experience or is this?
Yeah,
Okay.
it totally is. So the chorus goes, I deserve a man who would walk 100 miles for me. Then I say towards the end of the chorus, and show me some chivalry.
Mm-hmm. And this is 100 by Alexia Christian.
I'm tired of you making me sick with all of your excuses. Out of nowhere you say I need space, so much for the human race. Yesterday you were all over me. How could your feelings suddenly slip away? I deserve a man who would walk 100 miles for me. When he canceled all of our plans, couldn't help but see you're not the one for me. Lay down your cards for me and show me some chivalry. Next day I awakened and realized the Lord moved you out of my life. What a blessing it is to be free again. I'll find a new boyfriend. I deserve so much more than how you treated me. How could your feelings suddenly slip away? I deserve a man who would walk 100 miles for me. When he canceled all of our plans, couldn't help but see you're not the one for me. Lay down your cards for me and show me some chivalry. I deserve a man who would walk 100 miles for me. When he canceled all of our plans, couldn't help but see you're not the one for me. Lay down your cards for me and show me some chivalry.
And that was 100 by Alexia Christian. Where can people find you?
You can find me on all streaming platforms: Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon Music, anywhere where you listen.
And you have a few gigs coming up.
Yeah, I have a lot coming up. I'm really excited.
You want to shout some out?
Sure, I have one at JoJo's Pizza in Mechanicsburg at the Upper Allen location this Tuesday from 7 to 9. And next week I'll also be at Tommy Joe's in Bethesda, Maryland. That's Saturday the 17th, 7 to 10. I'll also be at Harvest of the Arts Fest in Carlisle on the 24th, 3 to 5. And then that's Sunday the 25th. Last show of the month, I'll be at Harrisburg Beach Club, 2 to 5.
That's a fun spot.
Rock on. Yeah, I went there once. I really like it.
I've been there once. I didn't have the greatest experience because it's right on the river and there's a lot of bugs.
Yeah.
But it's a great, not to knock the beach club at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great spot, great food. However, the bugs were just too much, and we were playing, and there was so many bugs that every time I
Uh-huh.
played the piano, I would squish a bug.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, not fun. But
Oh, did you have a gig there?
oh yeah, we had a gig there. Yes, yeah, we had a gig there.
Nice. Was that solo or with band?
With a band.
Nice.
But like I said, great spot, great food, great view as well. The view
Yeah.
was amazing.
Yeah, the view's great.
I just didn't have a good time playing there. That's okay.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Some days
whatever.
can be like that.
Yeah, and if you're a musician, you got to be prepared for those kind of days. Have you ever had problems like? Well, you did. Spider.
Yeah.
Bugs, right?
Yeah, I've played at some farmers markets too where it's like super windy and you're hearing the wind through the mic and it's just like, oh gosh. Yeah, sometimes indoors is preferable.
Yes, absolutely. Especially in 90-degree humid weather.
Oh yeah.
And here in Central PA. But also coming out the 23rd is your single.
Yeah, Man in My Mind's gonna be dropping. You guys don't want to miss that one. It's gonna be awesome.
And do you have a website or
I do.
You do?
It's a one pager if you search irenezdesign.com/Alexia. But you can find me on Facebook. I got a music page, Instagram, all that cool stuff.
be sure to check her out there. If you want to follow us, we are on everywhere as well. I have a few more questions though. What is one thing that you know now that you wish you had known when you first started?
Great question. I would say probably when you're booking gigs,
Mm.
you know, if the manager doesn't contact you or call you, it's because they literally don't have time. So you got to be persistent for sure. And when you're at a show, try to talk to as many people as you can to gain fans.
Absolutely. And to help with that booking process, shout out Stage Rush. Have you ever heard of Stage Rush?
Ooh, no.
No, it's a great website founded here in Lancaster where artists and venues can go. So you can sign up as an artist for free, and you can apply to different venues on there, like Telus 360, Fetish is on there, like all these other great spots. I can go on and on about Stage Rush because it's a really cool thing where you can. It cuts out all the emailing and all the figuring out. Okay, who's actually in charge of the booking here?
Nice.
Because that's if you're a musician, you know that's the most annoying part. Is trying to
Yeah.
figure out who's who and who do I have to email or call to figure it out.
Right.
Stage Rush, you just go to this whatever venue's profile and apply, and it's super simple. It's really really UI friendly, and I can't recommend them enough. And they don't pay me to say this. I just really like their product. So definitely check that out if you're an independent artist without a booking agent. For sure, it's a lifesaver. What is one of the biggest mistakes that maybe you have made or you've seen other people make within the industry, and how can we curb that for the future generations?
Great question. I don't know. I don't think I've really made a big mistake per se.
That's good.
Thank God. I don't know. That's a hard one. I guess you just have to be really communicative with whoever's trying to book you.
Absolutely.
Just call them up, be consistent and persistent, and give them a copy of your CD. I know it's hard, but you know, it's just a great way to promote yourself and get your music out there, and just try to meet as many people as you can.
And for those who don't know, how did you go about making CDs for yourself?
Yeah, so I use CD Baby as the music distributor, and Disc Makers, that printing company, is great if you want to make hard copies. I would suggest Disc Makers. They are amazing, and the quality is fabulous.
So you mentioned you being a Christian. I don't think we got around to this, but how or if at all, has your faith been challenged within your within the music industry?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I think with rock and roll, somehow, I don't know why it's this way, but there are so many musicians who have like tragic things that happen to them. And, I guess you just have to keep it all in perspective, like not get into the partying scene and just try to have an even keel with it.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I've been out and people are smoking or drinking or whatever, and they're always like, "Oh, Corey, you want to puff or you want to drink?" And I'm like,
Right.
but the people who know me now know it's a no, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
But yeah, that is one of the harder parts because it's not, granted, they're not peer pressury at all. But it can feel like that. Everyone else is doing it. You want one. They don't say that, but that's what it's like.
Right.
And especially if you're a people pleaser, it's especially
Yeah.
hard because you're like, yeah, but
Right. But you got to do what's best for you.
and you got to stay strong in your principles too.
You do, yeah. And that's so important to have those morals and keep those
Boundaries,
in you. Yeah,
Yeah.
boundaries. Yeah, you got to have boundaries with people.
especially if you're playing at bars. If a guy comes up to you and starts talking to you, you gotta say no, not right now.
Right, exactly.
Walk away.
Yep.
What is one thing that you recommend for all musicians to do, to try, whether they're guitar players, they're singers?
I would say to just keep improving your craft. Never be satisfied. Keep learning new guitar techniques if you're a guitarist. Broaden your soloing skills. Broaden your vocal skills. If you like singing and you mainly play an instrument, I would say try to integrate singing and vocals into your style because that just adds a whole other layer to it. And if you can write songs, that's really cool. And anybody who wants to write songs, I think you just definitely should.
And even play other genres too. That's another undervalued thing, I think, because
Yeah.
nowadays everyone plays this genre and only that genre, right? But there's so much to learn from every single genre, right? Blues and like rock and all of these genres today have extensive histories and particular ways to play it, right? You got your 12-bar blues. You got for rock, it's the 1-4-5. For jazz, it's the 2-4-5. It's for rap, it's the minor 1 to the minor 4 or whatever have you. It's so incredibly versatile. The stuff you'll learn or pick up from other genres that you can just include into your own music and make it more of your own.
Absolutely. Yeah. Every genre has a different rhythmic value to it. And it's great to work within those different genres.
Well, with all that said, it's been a lot of fun.
It's been a great show. Thank you so much, Corey, for having me on The Story. I have had a rockin' time here.
Yeah, and be sure to check out Alexia on all her spots. Is it Alexia Christian? Just Alexia Christian everywhere?
Alexia Christian.
Be sure to check out her Instagram, her Facebook, her website. I think most of those are in the description. If not, I'll add them for sure. If you have enjoyed this episode, please be sure to like, follow, subscribe, and share with all your friends. If you really want to support us, you can give us reviews or rate us anywhere you listen. If you listen on Spotify, please be sure to rate us. Do whatever you feel like we deserve. Obviously, if you're on Facebook, please review us. That is going to help us be boosted up in the algorithms and show other people. So that's one way you can really help us. Another way, you can check out our shop. We have stickers and we have shirts and hoodies with the first 50 guests on the back. The next 50 guests are going to be coming soon. Stay tuned for that. With all that said, check us out tomorrow. We have Caleb Stell, the violinist and music director. He's a part of Rascal Revival. And Monday, we have Ben Brandt from the Soul Miners Union. And Tuesday, we have, I do believe it is the Central Pennsylvania Music Hall of Fame founder, owner, Brandon Valentine. Thursday, we got a lot of people coming up this week. We got Mike Bitts.
Awesome.
If you know who that is, he's an awesome guitarist. He's played just about anywhere you can ever think. And Thursday we have Chris Keeney is a returning guest on the show, and then the 16th we have Logan Kurtek. He's an awesome saxophone player from Australia.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
So stay tuned for all of that, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. See you guys later. Bye.
Oh, that was